I'm Laura Ingraham, and this is a special edition of the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. Did James Clapper coordinate a media hit on General Michael Flynn? A bombshell court filing, it dropped late last night, suggests just that. And Molly Hemingway and Victor Davis Hanson are here with analysis and reaction. Plus, this is a fascinating story. George Soros has been quietly working behind the scenes for decades, but now he has a new goal. He's financing the campaigns of far-left prosecutors. This is a story that could affect the safety and security of your community. You do not want to miss it. And a haunted house that requires a medical waiver and a safe word. Hollywood's reboot obsession. Oh, my God, it never ends. And what happened to Joe Biden's Hispanic website? Raymond Arroyo has all the details in a spooky Friday Follies. But first, the announcement that U.S. Attorney John Durham's investigation is now a criminal probe has made a lot of folks nervous in this town. And they're all the same intel and media collaborators who spread the phony collusion narrative from the start. Minutes after seeing the news, former Obama Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, appeared on television. And was it just me, or did he seem to struggle to get out the right words?
Well, actually, I'm very curious, since presumably I guess I'm one of those under investigation. I found the timing interesting, given the increasing heat around the impeachment inquiry.
Do you have any idea, what they might think may rise to the level of a criminal offense?
No, I don't. That's obviously an item of great interest to me.
Pass the depends. All right, for his part, former Deputy Director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, on CNN, sought to shift the focus of the convo.
There appears to be within the administration, both from the president and now possibly with the attorney general as well, an underlying lack of trust. And if those decision makers are not convinced, it suggests that they are not taking the Russian threat to the 2020 elections as seriously as they should. We made the obvious and rational decision to investigate.
Well, remember, McCabe is the guy who himself is under criminal investigation and is suing the DOJ in desperation. Perhaps McCabe or CNN's Jim Sciutto, or is it Sciutto, himself a former Obama national security official, might have thought about disclosing that in the conversation. And finally, did MSNBC hire Alex Jones?
This bizarro world treasure hunt for dirt on our own intelligence services to try to set up Russia's interference in our election as a false flag operation. According to this conspiracy theory, Russia didn't do that. Russia didn't intervene. What actually happened is that it was the Obama administration that was setting this all up as a frame job.
I actually felt bad for the folks over at the other networks last night. I mean, it came late. The news came late. They didn't have time to fully process it, marinate in it. Some tinfoil hats might have been on a little too tight. Well, these same people spent 2 years, of course, promoting the Russia hoax, and they hyped every detail of the Mueller probe while claiming it wasn't politically motivated. And instead of embracing an investigation by a highly respected attorney, well, they're just lashing out. They're trying to discredit Durham, of all people, who's as bipartisan accolades for him, but not any longer. Well, and he has to finish his work. Joining me now is Molly Hemingway, senior. I remember when you appeared on this show, the left is in full panic mode. Yeah. Where do they go from here beyond the smears that began last night of both Barr and Durham?
I don't think they have anywhere to go. I think Clapper was right that the timing was sort of odd, but in the exact opposite way that he thinks. These things have been ongoing investigations, Horowitz and Durham and Barr. But what's weird is I think in a strange way they helped to explain this panicky psychodrama about the whistleblower, because on a scale of 1 to 10, melodramas about Trump's impeachment, it rates about a Stormy or a emolument clause about a 3, and yet they're predicating the entire impeachment case on this whistleblower who sort of violated the statute by going first to Adam Schiff's staff, who lied about it. His text doesn't match the official transcript. The statute itself was changed shortly before he filed. He worked with a Democratic law firm. It didn't make sense. He doesn't want to come forward. And you ask yourself, why did they predicate this whole latest push for impeachment on such a thin reed? And I think the answer is they have to change the news cycle, because the news cycle, to use an old English expression, the worm has turned, and it's going to be McCabe and Orr and Brennan and Clapper and Comey for the next 6 months. It's not going to be good. So they want to get this impeachment thing, as desperate as they are, out there to drive down Trump's polls, or to say that Barr is illegitimate.
It's all about 2020. The idea that this is about, finding out the truth. It's not about finding. This is about 2020 election politics. And Molly, I have to play for you. This was some of what we heard last night as it was unfolding, as the news was coming out. Let's watch.
We're asking whether or not this is politically motivated. When the president wanted a way to try to get to the bottom of this deep state conspiracy that he thinks is behind him.
Conspiracy theories that they're trying to deflect attention away from the entire impeachment proceeding.
Now conspiracy theories are rising to the level of legitimate investigation.
Molly, this is, I guess, where they're cornered. They're in a room with no doors.
Well, it's an amazing amount of projection. You remember that if there were even a hint of skepticism toward the Russia hoax or the probe of the Russia hoax, we were told that this was a threat to the Republic to have any questions about law enforcement, or that it was proof of guilt or whatnot. And yet, with no compunction, they're just flipping on that and saying that this probe is politically motivated. I think the problem is that the media have two issues with conspiracy theories. One, they spread this hoax, this Russia collusion conspiracy theory, for years, dripping it out. Bombshells, walls are closing in, it's going to be the end.
Trump Tower.
And at the end, it was revealed that not a single American had conspired with Russia to steal the election. That's a huge failure, a huge embarrassing failure for the media and for the people who spread this hoax within the government and without. At the same time, they were saying that questions about the spying of on the Trump campaign, using human informants, wiretaps, national security letters, overseas intelligence assets, that was a crazy conspiracy theory. It's not a crazy conspiracy theory. Now we actually have a criminal investigation into some of what was going on. And so they're being shown once again to have lied to their viewers, lied to their readers, or lied to the people about what was going on.
Another element of this breaking news last night came in the form of this filing that Sidney Powell, who's representing Michael Flynn. Now, everyone remember, Michael Flynn already pled guilty to making a false statement during that impromptu, sudden interview that he was asked to do with FBI agents. Well, check this out. His legal team is alleging that the agents tampered with the evidence to charge charge Flynn himself with lying. So the 302 is the interview memo that's written after a subject is interviewed. And the question is, who edited this memo? How significantly was it edited? And Clapper effectively, I think, told the Washington Post reporter, according to Sidney Powell, to, quote, take the kill shot on Flynn after he obtained these leaked transcripts of Flynn's phone calls. Molly, Clapper's people deny this, but it was very curious, was it not, that David Ignatius received these, this information about these calls with Kislyak. And then suddenly the article appears, and then these agents proceed to interview Michael Flynn.
Right. We know there was a criminal leak of information, of classified information. We know that happened because it appeared in the Washington Post. Thus far, we still don't know who did it. There have been no charges against the person who did it, despite this being a very serious crime. Now, whether Clapper was the person who directly did that or what...
Coming up, Beto's got a new plan for your guns, and it's the last bite.
Police Emergency, live Sunday on Fox News Channel.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15.
Well, 2020 Democratic pinup boy and fanatic Beto O'Rourke is now singing a new tune.
Those who have or want to use an AR-15 are able to